What's going on, everyone? Shaqir Hussyin here, founder of founds.com, internet multi-millionaire that really doesn't know how to use his own microphone. So hopefully you can all hear me in this video, and I don't have mic around, so there's no fancy editing. I'll probably just create a thumbnail for myself and stick it on this YouTube video. But today I want to talk about this title that I've put together of why ego is the enemy of success, right? And I'm going to share with you this story. Let me tell you this story, this little story of why I believe, after now coaching and consulting and mentoring literally thousands and thousands of paid customers and students all over the world, what I tend to find is, well, let me tell you the story first, okay? And I can't mention the person's name, but I'm just going to say, have you ever come across someone where they seem to have all the resources, they have all the support, the coaching, the products, the mentoring, they have direct access to, whoever that they want. But when it comes to the results, they can't seem to crack on. They can't seem to put the pieces of the puzzle together. Now, they're not stupid. They're pretty smart because they have a 9-to-5 job and they get paid very well in the 9-to-5 job. But when they come online, when they come on the internet and they want to learn how to build a business, they want to start up and then they want to scale up. They have all these grand visions. They see, other people making $10,000-$20,000 a day. They see other kids on YouTube making, $1,000 a day or millions of dollars. And they look at it and they say, wow, like, is this really possible? And then they start, and sometimes they start and then they just quit and stop and just give up. But then they start and sometimes they see a little bit of results, but they don't seem to be able to convince themselves that they can do it. Right? Just recently, someone that I was mentoring, and this is a family member, okay, a family member, and I was mentoring them and showing them the path. And they set up their online business. They started making a few sales. They made the first, £500, $500 or whatever. And just from talking to that person, I could almost tell that although he's seen how it works, he's seen how much money he made, he's seen how much money he could make, there was an element of disbelief, as in, it's too risky. I don't know I'm too scared of the unknown. What if I can't do it again? Whereas I know people that have literally taken the same stuff that I helped this relative with, and they've turned it into literally a $50,000 per month income stream. Right? Like, so what's the difference? Right? Like, what is it? It's the two people, they're getting the same thing, they're getting the same information. There's no secrets, right? Like, it's all on the table. They get access to me, but why is it that one person, makes $500 or whatever, and then they decide to, it's not for me? And why is it someone that is nearly half the age, doesn't have any education, any background, college, university degree, none of that, doesn't have a 9-to-5 job, probably has never had a proper 9-to-5 job? Why is one person able to go and make $50,000 a month? Right? Like, why? And so I don't know if I know the answer, but I'm going to tell you a few things that I've discovered over doing this stuff for more than a decade. Okay? And the number one thing is self-image. Now, this is not something that's popular. This is not something that gurus will tell you. This is not something that will, get a lot of likes on this video, because this is the kind of stuff no one likes to tell you. Okay? Your friends and family ain't going to tell you this advice. Okay? I'm going to tell you this advice because I don't need any friends, and I have a close relationship with my family anyway, so no one in my family watches this video, but I'm going to tell you this, right? Because no one's going to tell you this. Your school teachers, your parents, they won't ever tell you this. But you will not get the results that you want being who you are. There's this BS myth that, hey, you can have anything that you want. No, you can't have anything that you want. Being who you are today, you have to be a different person so that you can go out and get a few different things, right? Does that make sense? Is this making sense to you? Okay? Like who you are today is not capable of, let's say, making $50,000 a month or $500,000 a month or $1 million a month. The person I was when I was broke is very different to who I am today, right? The habits and the routines that I've developed today are so different than who I used to be like 10 years ago, right? Who I used to surround myself like 10 years ago. And I say this because, people will say that they want success, but they don't want to change. They want success, but, they don't want to take the risk, or they don't want to learn this skill. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, you could literally learn anything that you want on YouTube for free. If you want it in an organized, condensed manner, go hire yourself a mentor or buy a course or coaching or whatever, okay? But just hear this out. Next time you are asking yourself, why is it so hard for me to go and hit this goal? Ask yourself this question: who do I need to become, right? Your self-image, your personality, who you are, that needs to change, because your personality is what creates your reality. You should write that one down. I learned that one from Dr. Joe Dispenza many, many years ago. Okay, it changed my life forever. Your reality is shaped by your thoughts, by your actions, by your routines, by your habits. So if you feel like, man, I just can't figure why, I can't find out why I'm not successful or why I'm not hitting my goals, right? One of the reasons why I'm able to achieve my goals is because I write huge goals down, and then I ask myself this question: who do I need to become to achieve this, right? Like, what are the disciplines I need to create? That's why I'm up 5, 6 a.m. every single day, right? Like, even if I sleep late, I'm up. Because that's just a habit that I have. I developed that habit. Now, 10 years ago, I wasn't like that. I'd wake up whenever I want. I'd do whatever the heck I want. I didn't have any sort of routine, any structure. Like, even now, I have routine and structure just a couple of days out of the week. So it kind of, it lets me be creative and all of that fun stuff. But if I have to, I will be disciplined to a routine because of who I need to create within myself. And this is such a big thing, right? Like, especially people that are in 9-to-5 jobs, or they're at home and they're working, and they look around and everyone else seems to have success, but not them, right? So first and foremost, you must always consistently work on your self-image. How do you work on your self-image, right? Like, what's this process? One, first be aware of that your current reality right now, okay? Like 99% of your reality is there because of your thoughts, your actions, and your own doing, okay? Now, from a spiritual perspective, I do believe everything comes and it happens because of God. From a human being perspective in this world, okay, you still have control, you still have will, you still have the ability to go out and create whatever the heck you want. So now that nonsense of, I wasn't dealt a good hand, my parents wasn't rich, my parents wasn't, they didn't give me the best education, or they didn't, whatever, insert excuse, right? Like, I know people that will say, oh yeah, Shaq, you're lucky your dad was an entrepreneur, so that's why you had the entrepreneurial gene. No, like, I remember very clearly, even if I had it, and sure, my dad, huge influence on me, okay, I still had to go out and work. I still had to go out and figure out. And I didn't let myself have excuses, okay, which leads me to number 2, right? And number 2 is having high standards, okay? Most people, the reason why they fail, they struggle in business, they struggle in entrepreneurship, they struggle in everything. Like, sometimes you meet someone and they're struggling with every aspect of their life. And I understand and respect when someone is struggling to some extent, as long as they are making changes, they're making an effort, right? Like, I find myself to be overweight, but guess what? Every single day, I'm a little bit conscious of what kind of foods I have. When I have a personal trainer in the gym 3 times a week. Like, I am trying to get better, right? Like, the worst thing is when someone is like, they're really broke, and then they accept that they're broke, and they're just gonna stay broke. Like, that is the most ridiculous thing ever, especially when you have access to the internet. You have access to, make YouTube videos, learn scalable income skills, copywriting, sales funnels building, speaking to sell, coming up with offers. Like, this day and age, everything is just so out there and so easy. And what I've seen from my own experience with and looking at the people that create success and the people that don't create any level of success, or they stay stuck, is that one person has a very low standard for themselves, for their family, for their being, right? They're like, it's okay, I just get by. Like, why do you need to get by when you have all this opportunity? And so, you meet this person, and it's like, for me, I can just see so much potential in people, right? Sometimes most of the time it's a gift, but sometimes it's a curse, because I'm like, man or woman, like, why are you wasting your life away? Do you know how many kids in Africa? I just came back from Africa earlier this year. I spent a week there in a spiritual retreat, and I saw tin houses. Do you even know what tin houses are? They're literally houses made of tins. Like, it was like that's poor. That's like really broke, right? That's like, I don't even know if they have internet, right? Like, that's really poor. You most likely have all of these things. You probably have food, shelter. You have access to the internet. You have a mind that works. You have fingers that can type, right? Like, you have a voice that can talk. And the language of the internet is talking and typing. So figure out how to talk and type your way to riches, to success, to wealth, to success, whatever the thing that you want. But don't settle for low standards, right? Like, if you know you are capable of more, right? And you want to make that $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, or maybe even 50, 100,000 a month and beyond. Why settle for where you're at right now, right? And I'm not saying you shouldn't be content or you shouldn't be grateful for what you have. I'm just saying, hey, what if there was a next level? What if you could literally 5x or 10x your income, right? Like, how would the lives of the people around you change? Which leads me to my third concept that I want to discuss, which is your why, right? Like, it might sound like, this is woo-woo stuff, but the stronger your why, the easier the how. Most people are so self-absorbed. They're so self-absorbed. They're so it's not even self-awareness, it's self-consumed of how they're going to look, how they're going to feel, how they're going to, it's all about them, how they're going to fail, how they're going to, fear of failure, fear of success. It's all about how for them. And the reason why I know all of this is because 10 years ago, I was that character, right? I never took responsibility for my life. It was everyone else's fault. It was my parents' fault. It was the people that I grew up, it's their fault. Until I started realizing I need to take responsibility. I need to start reinventing myself. I need to reinvent my own personality. I need to reinvent who I am, how I show up in the world with new success habits that successful people have. I needed to figure these things out, right? And I needed to constantly be reinventing myself, constantly be pushing myself, so I'm outside of my comfort zone. And when things got tough, I went back to, why am I doing this? I'm doing this for my personal freedom. I'm doing this for my family so I can give them the best life possible. I'm doing this for the wider community in my world. That's, usually entrepreneurs that want to grow their business, or people that want to get out of the 9-to-5 rut and they want to start a business. And so, I would remind myself of what's my why? Why did I get into this? And when things got tough, I would remind myself, my parents used to work making skirts, 50p, which is less than probably, maybe 50 cents, less than $1 per skirt they used to make. And they came into this country with absolutely nothing. And I am not going to settle for less, right? If you don't think like this, then you're always going to stoop down to the least that you can do, right? And that's when you see people they'll value, time off. What do you need time off for, Sure, you could take one day off, but I'll see people say, oh, I need to take the weekend off. Oh, I need to do this on this day. I need to go watch a movie. You know, I earned this. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like the first 3 to 4 years, maybe even 5 years of my life, when I started my entrepreneurial journey, okay, probably when I was 21 to 26, I made my first $10 million then. I didn't take any days off. Like I worked 7 days a week, long days, long hours. Now, some people, I can appreciate when they have unique circumstances, but I'm not talking to those some people. I'm talking to you, right? Don't put yourself in this, oh yeah, I'm so unique, this has happened to me, blah, blah. You need to get over these things. You need to get over any past trauma, any past thing people have said about you, they've written about you, they talk about you, right? Like I get it. My friends and family thought I was crazy. My family for many years thought, well, like, why is this guy dropping out of university and starting this internet business? So I get it, right? Like I get it. But I didn't let these things control me, right? And because I always went back to my why, right? And this is another thing. Most people, when they're trying to start a business or they're trying to make money, they don't understand making money and having a business is a direct reflection of how you can support other people. If you can solve enough people's problems, then you will get money. You will have success. You will have more wealth than you know what to do with. I can promise you that. But that's not what most people focus on. They're focused on, how do I make as much money as possible? And that will only get you so far. You face 1 or 2 challenges, you'll quit because you don't even have a big why. You'll go back down to the slow standard that you're used to, right? And be honest. Just think about what you make right now, how you live your life. If you have a husband, a wife, you have kids, just think about it and just think, could you give them a better life? Right? Yes? No? Right? If you could give them a better life, then doesn't that mean that you are selling yourself short and you're selling everyone else short? And that's the problem when you're selfish, right? Because everything revolves around you. You failing, you looking stupid, you looking dumb, you looking insert whatever other negative word that you're going to put in your head, right? But if you start thinking about, okay, it's the why. Like, what's my why? One of my earliest mentors, he's dead now, Mark Hussyin. I remember something he said, which was, figure out who benefits when you become the best version of yourself, when you become successful, right? When you become successful, who around you benefits? I can tell you right now, the 2 people I was helping, one quit after making less than probably 1,000 or whatever, 500. And the other guy, who's nearly 10 years younger than him, maybe 12 years younger than him, went out, made $50,000 in a single month. Okay, the guy that made 50 grand in a single month, he's doing it for his parents. He's driven for his parents, for his grandparents, for his brothers. Like, he has that focus and vision that he wants to do more for his family. The other guy, not so much, right? And so these are things that if you can reflect on, I can assure you, it will have a dramatic impact on your life, on your thinking. And then success becomes very easy. Success is just a byproduct. If you can remember your why you even started this journey, why you even committed to wanting to become an entrepreneur, right? And then knowing that you must be raising your standards. Every day, do something that gets you out of your comfort zone, right? Do something that's going to push you beyond where your friends and family and your husband and your wife and your kids are going to push you. Do something internal. This is why mentoring and coaching is so important. Be around people that will pull you, right? Be around people that when you're around people. A few days ago, I inquired to join this high-level mastermind because I realized you need to have 10 million in investable assets to join. I was like, okay, I'm in, and I'm talking to the lady, and I said, who else is in this group? And she started just telling me all these people, right? And I'm like, she's like, the base entry for these 900 people to be in this group is you need to have $10 million in investable assets. It's a very high level, high end mastermind. And I'm looking and I'm talking to her and I'm thinking, And I said to her, I said, let me tell you where I'm at. I have XYZ. This is what I'm trying to get to. 9 figures, multiple 9 figures. And I want to be the dumbest in the room. And maybe even the poorest. Right? And she laughed and she goes, I know exactly who you need. I'm going to set up a Zoom call and get you started. Now, some people would say, oh yeah, Shaq, you know, it's because you have money, that's why you can do these things. No, I used to do these things when I didn't have money. I found resources. Why? Because I was so committed to my why. Me writing down my vision, my goals for myself, you know, my yearly goals, my 5-year plans, you know, that I would always be resourceful. I would always make a way. Most people, if they can't get their WordPress header image and their graphics sorted out, you know, or they can't figure out their funnel, they blame the software, they blame ClickFunnels, they blame WordPress. It's like, really? Like, really? You're just gonna, that's the standard that you have for yourself, for your family, right? Like, you can't figure out this, so it's taking you 6 months to get a damn website up. Like, what? So, anyway, this video turned into a rant. That's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be doing lots of rants to get you on the right path. If you feel like you got value from this video, subscribe, comment, like, do whatever you need to. Hit the notification bell so that you can see more of these videos when I release them. But that being said, get to work. All right? Enough YouTube for today.